Here are the few things that you need to keep in mind when you plan your Japan trip. So if you're someone who lives in Dublin, Ireland or UK or any part of the Europe, it is through embassy. Okay, now about the tickets. How much did I spend for the ticket? So yes, I got my ticket for really good price. If you have money, yes, go ahead. If you're broke like me, then book during want to go to Tokyo to see Disneyland, then yes, this is the main point. I stayed in a hostel. I'm gonna share the link where I stayed. Few people want to go to Osaka and see Universal. Yes, that's the main point. And Uji is the mother of matcha place. Few people want to go to Mario Kart, like what do you call go-karting, which is known for hot spring. Actually, hot spring is even in Mount Fuji, but I want to stay in Hakone. And also public transport, most of the time I would cycle around. I love cycling and I love walking. eSIM. I got my eSIM through Hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Prarthana and it would be great if you could just subscribe my channel right now. Today I'm gonna talk about my Japan trip. How did my trip go? How did I plan the trip? Everything is in this one blog because I got a lot of message. Everyone wants to travel Japan. I know Japan was in my list for quite some time and I just said I'm not gonna wait for someone. I'm just gonna travel by myself. So usually on my birthday I travel solo most of the time, but this year I planned for Japan. And what I really like about Japan is people, food. It's so advanced. I mean, technology wise it's so advanced, it's so clean, and yeah, the culture, everything about Japan is amazing. Everything is so perfect that there's nothing to complain. I have no complaints about Japan whatsoever. I really want to go to Japan again. But yes, here are the few things that you need to keep in mind when you plan a Japan trip. First is visa. Of course, as an Indian, you need a visa to travel Japan. So if you're someone who lives in Dublin, Ireland or UK or any part of the Europe, it is through embassy majority wise. But if you're from India, then you have to book your visa through VFS. But if you're in Dublin like me, you need to email the embassy or call them up for an appointment and you'll get an appointment and they'll send the list of documents that you need. I'll just quickly tell you what are the documents that you need for the trip. One is your passport, of course, your IRP card if you're in Dublin, your resident card, and then one visa application form that you have, and then a passport size picture, of course, original letter from your employer or if you're from school, that letter, recent bank statement, pay slip, and the whole schedule of your trip, like how many days you're staying in Tokyo. If you're going to Tokyo, of course you're going to go to Tokyo. So different cities, how are you going to do your flight information. It can be dummy tickets. I booked the real tickets because I got a very cheap deal. So I'm not going to stay for longer. Than the accommodation information, you can book all your accommodation through booking.com. I can share you how I planned the trip below and you can basically make, if that's worth it, you can, because I went alone, so most of my trips are through hostels. So if you're someone solo, that would be really great. Yes, and if you are going through relatives or blah blah blah, they'll send you all the details. But yes, these are the few information that you need. Okay, now about the tickets. How much did I spend for the ticket? So usually March, as it's a cherry blossom time, it's very expensive and there's a lot of tourists around that time. So I thought I'll go off season because my birthday is in June. So I was like, okay, I'll go during June to Japan, thinking because it's a rainy season, who wants to go to Japan? But it was crowded. But I got a very cheap ticket from London through the airlines that I never been in my life, is China Eastern Airlines. I got the ticket for 550 euro. Amazing, written 550 euros, which was a big deal. But if you're booking during October or November, it can be 1,000 quid. So yes, I got my ticket for really good price. If you have money, yes, go ahead. If you're broke like me, then book during June, July. There's some China Airlines that you can book through and the tickets are cheaper, but you have your transit in China, so make sure the transit is not longer. And the second question that I get a lot is about the eSIM. I got my eSIM through Klook. It's eSIM, so you can just do it, activate it by yourself. Klook is amazing for any great deal, amazing deal that you want to, like, there are a lot of tours that if you want to book through Klook, you'll get a very good deal comparing a lot of apps like Get to Guide and everything. I compared everything and I thought Klook was good, and I'm gonna send you a description how to get your eSIM. Then the fourth part is transport. How did I manage to transport? I didn't use those JR Bullet Pass or any of the pass because I felt that that was not necessary for me because I'm not going to use a lot of bullet trains and also public transport. Most of the time I would cycle around. I love cycling and I love walking. But however, there is this travel called Pasmo, which is an e-card. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so you can basically get it online and add it to your wallet, and then you can tap how much ever money you want. It's basically like a tap card. Unfortunately, contactless card doesn't work in Japan. I tried using it. For the travel, you need this card, Pasmo, and you can use this for train, bus, or anything, or the subway. But bullet train, yeah, it's expensive, so you need to add more, or you can directly go to the counter and get the tickets. So that's how I did manage my travel locally. And if you're going through group of friends, I think you might go through a car or whatever. So yes, so if you're solo like me, get the Pasmo card, and it's better you get the digital one, because if you're gonna get the real Pasmo card, there is no counter that uses card, to put money. You need to have a real cash. I didn't withdraw a lot of cash, so I preferred using Pasmo digital card. Hope that clarifies your doubt about how do you travel locally. Third is, do you need cash or does the tap card works? I did withdraw like 100 euro, which is around 20,000 yen, because few of the small small shops don't accept card at all. Like few of the cafes which is run by really old school people, they prefer cash over card. So I would suggest withdraw some cash. I do use Revolut, so I just landed and I took some cash through my Revolut card, which worked everywhere. I think I used around 200 euros because of also street shopping and everything. Few places they just accept cash. That's about the cash and card, like how it works. So yeah, you can go to exchange. I don't know, because I use Revolut. People in UK, Ireland, and even Europe, they use Revolut a lot. So that's been amazing for me. So this is about my cash. Then the next question is, how did I plan the entire trip? To be honest, Japan can be overwhelming when you're planning the trip. But however, if you're traveling, you know what you want to see. So for example, I wanted to just eat and explore matcha cafes in Japan. That's the whole point. I was just there for eat. But if you're someone who needs to know what to do, some few people want to go to Tokyo to see Disneyland, then yes, this is the main point. Few people want to go to Osaka and see Universal. Yes, that's the main point. Few people want to go to Mario Kart, like what you call go-karting. Yes, there's things set to do. So I didn't have that whole of that. I'm just here for culture, just here to eat. I'm just here to live like every day, like how I live in Dublin. So yes, I was just walking around, seeing around the city, come back. So this is how I planned the trip. I did Tokyo for 4 days. Worth it, worth the hype. It's very busy. I stayed in a hostel. I'm gonna share the link where I stayed. So you can either Shinjuku, Shibuya is very crowded. People prefer to stay in Asakusa, which is kind of like less crowded. I stayed in Shinjuku because not in a touristy spot but further away, and I could just walk around to the train station for 6-7 minutes. I didn't mind at all. So yes, I stayed in Tokyo for 4 days, and then I took a train from Tokyo to Hakone, which is known for hot spring. Actually, hot spring is even in Mount Fuji, but I wanted to stay in Hakone. I didn't want to do a lot of touristy stuff, so I stayed for 1 night in Hakone in a lovely guest house. It is so cheap. It was around for 30 euro per night. 30 or 25, you get your own room and you get your own hot spring. Like you can book your hot spring for 1 hour. It is so relaxing. I did day, night, every night. I did do the hot spring. So I stayed 2 days in Hakone. Then from Hakone, I took a bus and then I took a train to reach to Mount Fuji, which I shared one of my favorite places, and I think that was my highlight of the trip. It was a retreat camp, but this was more like a glamping area. Like Mount Fuji was right in front of me, so this is one of my favorite places that I stayed. And then from Mount Fuji, I was cycling around in the accommodation. They did have their own cycles that you can hire for 1,000 yen, or I went for look around and through cycle. If you have a car, it is still more easier, but I don't know how to drive, so I use cycle. So if you're a solo traveler like me, cycle would be great. So yes, I did that a lot. And from Mount Fuji, I went to Kyoto, which is the most aesthetic place of Japan. I think it is culturally, they have a lot of culture and value. If you want to see the historic Japan, then it's in Kyoto. So I stayed 3 days in Kyoto. If you ask me if staying in Kyoto was worth it, I would say Kyoto is expensive. From Mount Fuji to Kyoto, you need to take a bullet train. It's expensive. It's around 60,000 euros. Sorry, 60 euros. Kyoto, I found it expensive. Like stay and the food was really expensive. Like rest of the cities like Hakone, Mount Fuji, and also Tokyo, it's very cheap like compared to Kyoto. But however, Kyoto you need to see. I wanted to go to Kyoto because Uji was right there, and Uji is the mother of matcha place. So that's where the birthplace of matcha. So I went to Uji. Also, if you're going to Uji, be mindful that there is a global shortage of matcha. So every store, every container of the matcha gets over by 9 o'clock. So I went early at 9 thinking I would get something, but everything was, I don't know what time people would just walk in and they would grab 10 bottles of matcha powder. So yes, you can only take one matcha powder. But however, if there is a different grades of matcha, you can have one of each. And people have bought like, I don't know, the entire store, all the good places where you get good matcha was sold out. So however, that's my tip. Like make sure you plan your trip. Go early in the morning, don't go in the evening if you want matcha. And the next is from Osaka is cheaper. I stayed in another capsule hostel, and if you're someone who wants to try out the capsule, I would definitely suggest that maybe for a day or two try capsule, and I'm gonna share where I stayed in capsule. So yeah, this is my entire itinerary, what I did there, blah blah blah. If you want to know more, I have uploaded a lot of reels. If no, send me a message, I will send you my itinerary. And that was my entire Japan trip. Let me know if I missed out something. That's in my top of my head. That's all for the vlog. If you like my channel, you know what to do. Do like, share and subscribe. We'll meet you next week. Until then, take care. Jagrati. Bye bye.